The megalithic trapezoidal doorways of Peru are becoming recognized as the most incredible polygonal stoneworks in the world. People are now flocking to the ruins of Sacsayhuaman, Ollantaytambo, and Machu Picchu to see for themselves the simply unequaled stonework of ancient Peru. And what's more, there is the growing belief that these megalithic sites, what I call the polygonal megalithic 8, are pre-Inca, pre-Wari, pre-everything. That these ruins have been admired and worshipped and unfortunately pillaged and destroyed for what is now a couple thousand years. Today, our current civilization has at least stopped destroying these amazing locations, thankfully. This video is just about the trapezoidal doors, so I'll just focus on that. And right off the bat, I have to say that we, need to call these trapezoidal things something else. Not because they are trapezoidal, but because these doorways lack ever having doors or gates. There are no apparent markings of hinges or the holes left behind when hinges and their doors are installed. No evidence of hinges. When you look at the doorways of English castles or Roman ruins, you see the marks of hinges, and they are often broken and redone after countless invasions. The only megalithic Peruvian doorways that I have seen that ever had doors on them are at the Coricancha, and those doors were installed by the Spanish just 400 years ago. So, if these ancient doorways didn't have any doors, then we need to call them entranceways. The trapezoidal megalithic entranceways of Peru were constructed of two basic stone styles, block or polygonal. They were also either single or double jammed, and regular or grande size. Obviously, the most common entranceway is the simple stone regular single jam, of which many still exist. But these are not megalithic. The rarest entranceway would have been the polygonal double jammed grande, but unfortunately, the polygonal double jammed grande entranceways to Sacsayhuaman and to Ollantaytambo have long since been completely destroyed. A regular-sized entranceway is less than 7 feet tall and big enough for people to walk through single file, and a grande-sized entranceway is about 9 feet tall and wide enough for two men easily to pass side by side. It is believed that several of the larger entranceways had ornate religious carvings in them as well, and they were destroyed for that reason. The remnants of the megalithic grande entranceways can be found today only at Sacsayhuaman, Ollantaytambo, Pisac, and Machu Picchu. Thus, we are left with only one example of a polygonal megalithic entranceway, and that's at Ollantaytambo, and one example of a block-style megalithic entranceway, and that's at Pisac. These are the only two Peruvian megalithic entranceways that exist now in their original locations. But about the trapezoidal shape itself, why are there trapezoids in ancient Peruvian architecture? Is it earthquake-proofing? Is it aesthetics? Is there a mystical purpose perhaps shared with Egypt? Acoustics? I think it's actually all of these, but primarily I feel that having walls and doors that have a slight taper towards the shared weight is just very pleasant, and not only structurally solid, but visually and psychologically securing as well. Beauty by design. There are no standard dimensions for either the trapezoidal windows of Peru or the trapezoidal entranceways, but niches tend to be 1.5 times as tall as they are wide, and entranceways are at least twice as tall as they are wide. The grande entrances appear to have had even higher ratios, but it's hard to measure as they are not intact typically, but I did find one. About the only number that remains constant is the angle of the sides, which is about 4.5 degrees. This, by the way, is 1/20th of a square angle. Does it mean anything? Basically, there is no standard, or at least I haven't found it. It would be really cool if someone had developed the Vitruvian circle for trapezoids and entranceways, but no. I would say that an entire morning at Ollantaytambo, measuring those 10 gorgeous niches and those entranceways, and then the afternoon spent crunching the averages and ratios into a formula, would have to yield something really interesting. 4 of the first 5 photos in this video are representations of what some of Peru's famous entryways probably looked like several thousand years ago, before the Wari people came up the Urubamba River and reoccupied the empty structures that they found. Then the Inca arrived several hundreds years later and pushed out the peaceful Wari people. The Inca made their modifications to the ancient stonework, and then, just 300 years later, the Spanish arrived, and, well, history is written by the victors. To summarize, there are no megalithic trapezoidal doorways in Peru, but there are still 2 megalithic trapezoidal entranceways that are intact and in their original locations at Ollantaytambo and Pisac. Also, trapezoidal entranceways were originally built in 6 different styles and 2 different sizes. You can tell the difference between the megalithic and the Incan. Regarding size, there isn't an exact template for neither the niches nor the entranceways, but there are dimensional ratios that are remarkably similar. Plus, their trapezoidal design does have some very interesting acoustical qualities, and the slight angle is both pleasant and solid to the eye, as well as being more earthquake resistant than traditional ancient designs. A special thanks to my favorite subscriptions. Please check out their works. I hope that you find my videos be interesting and educational. If yes, please like and share. Thank you.